Morning, everybody. Harry P. from the Driftless Homestead here. Hey, this morning what I want to show you is how I take care of things in the wood stove. My dog, the super dog, just woke me up and he wanted to eat, so it's time to take care of the wood stove. And I wanted to show you what goes on with the wood stove because a lot of people ask questions on, do you get an all-night burn, and how do you do that? And a lot of people are shocked that, at my house, I light one fire a week, and that's when I come back on Sunday night. And then here at the hunting cabin, as long as we're here, I only light one fire. There's enough coals in the coal bed to get the fire going again, and same thing, at home. I mean, it just never goes out. And how do I maintain it? Basically, at home, I only empty ashes out once a week, and then I leave half the ashes in because the ashes are an insulator for the coals, and that's what helps it. Like, you'll see this when I restart this fire this morning, but it also helps protect the fire brick. So I leave, I don't know, maybe an inch worth of ashes in the bottom. So I just work all week on that coal bed and just keep loading fire to it. And if the coal bed starts to get too thick, what you could do is just leave, instead of restarting the fire, just leave the door cracked and it'll burn through it. So let me show you what I got going on here. It's got a temperature gauge on here. You can see that there's still some temperature in it from the night before. It's just how it works. But once this got air burner, reburner tubes in here, and once you get this thing up to temperature, it runs very efficient. Even though it's stated at 75%, I'll show you the firebox full of fire, and then we'll go outside and we'll look, and there's literally no smoke coming out of the chimney. So I wouldn't be afraid of having one of these in the city at all, especially with how much money it saves you with green energy from a renewable resource rather than from a carbon-based fuel. So, a fossil fuel, I should say. Here we've got one of these butterfly valves in there. We use that sometimes when we get the temperature too hot. We'll shut her down. And then we've got one of these heat reclaimers. It's amazing how much heat pulls out of that heat reclaimer. And I know some of you might think, well, with the heat reclaimer, maybe that'll create creosote because it's cooling the flue gases. But we have absolutely no problems with that. These are kind of pricey too, but they really do pull off a lot of heat. So it might be a good idea to have one of those. So back to the Vogelzang Performer. This thing is about 8 years old. It's a pretty large firebox, 2.2 square feet. It'll heat 2,200 square feet, and it'll burn 19,000 BTUs per hour with firewood. Which you could compare that all to your furnace in your house. It does have a blower on here that moves 100 feet per minute, and I also run a box fan next to it, just to move more of the heat around. This is a very big building here, just under 3,000 square feet, so air movement is key. At my house, at home, I have a box fan, but I also have a ceiling fan, and it really moves the heat around. So let me show you what we got going on here. So here's a close-up of what the fire looks like in the inside. You'll see mostly it's this gray ash, and then you'll see the embers down there. So what I do, this is what I like to do also. I bought an extremely cheap pair of welding gloves. I like to work when I work in here. Just in case you bump your wrist or something when you're working back there. Plus, it's really hot. The heat from just using the shovel will really, you can really feel it. So just a little protection. So I usually get in here and I get the ashes off the edge here and throw those inside. Then I go inside here and I turn everything over. I had quite the cold bet going on last night when I went to bed. And you'll see these coals, when you first turn them over, they just look like they're black. I know some of them I could pick up if I wanted to. Oh, there's still a little piece of wood left in there. But as you expose them to air, they'll start to turn red. And as you watch the process here, they'll all turn red in a few minutes. And that's what restarts the fire. So you don't take anything out, you just turn them over and work the coals to the top. I usually pull them forward too, because as I fill up the the firebox with wood, when I first close it and leave it cracked a little bit here, which concentrates the airflow both from the flue in the draft, and then the heat, it'll go up the chimney there and draw in air across the coals, and it'll really get them going good, and that's what restarts your fire. So I'm going to load it back up now with my favorite firewood, ash. It is just a shame. I suppose we have a mix here. Here's a piece of white oak. That this disaster, this ecological disaster is happening with ash. That with the emerald ash borer literally destroying every ash tree we have in America. It's going to take a little bit of time. I heard them talking about it out east as it was working its way towards us. And I guess I was in a little disbelief, but when I go on my woods, and I'll show you that when we get out there, we start cutting some more trees down, what an ash tree that's infected looks like, that's going to die in the next year or two. So I take it out right away because I like to have it when I'm cutting these trees down, or a dead tree. I hate cutting dead trees down. Depending on how dead they are. If they died this year or last year, I'm okay with it. But when you start to cut dead trees down that have been dead for a long time, as soon as that tree, those branches grew in the position that the tree was in, well, as soon as you move that tree a little bit, and now there's some degradation going on there in the branches, you're really in danger of having branches fall while the tree makes that rotation. So I like to have more. I don't do them alone, that's for sure. And then I like to have other people around in case something happens, it goes sideways on it there. So there, I just filled the box. So I'm gonna close the door here. Like I said, just close it. And then, I don't know if you can see the smoke starting to move around. That's mostly because of the air just whipping in through this crack in the door here. And voila, we have ignition. So I had it at 70 last night when I went to bed, and it's now 60, which is good. It's good. We used to, when I was growing up in the city of Kenosha, we used to have a wood burner, and we were right in the middle of town, and big big house, and it was an add-on furnace. You know, down the basement, it was next to the furnace, and it used all the existing ducting. Um, and we heated with wood there for a long time, and we never had any complaints from neighbors about smoke or anything like that. I did kind of an interesting story at school. You know, we used to at high school. I'd go there, and they'd let us in the wintertime. They'd let us in like the foyer. They had like a locked area. They'd let us in early because we couldn't stand outside. And I remember talking with my friends, and they asked me if I was eating sausage in the morning. And I said, "What?" He said, "Yeah, you smell like smoked sausage. Did you eat sausage this morning?" I said, "No, I was the first one up, and I started the fire." You know, we heat with wood. Um, just it was kind of interesting because you know not everybody knows, and you know back then maybe I wasn't. There was a lot more smoke involved in the process of doing that one than there was in this one here. So, all right, that's what I wanted to show you. Next, I'll show you as soon as this thing gets up to temperature, and then we'll go outside and we'll look at the stovepipe and see how much smoke's coming out. So, I wouldn't be afraid to use this green energy resource and put one of these in your house. I was when I still lived in Kenosha there, I was going to put this in the I actually bought this to go in the basement of my house. Then I moved out to North Dakota, so it didn't ever went in there. It came right out here and went in here to heat this building here. So I'll show you the full view flame, and then I'll show you outside. And you can see here that we are right in the middle of the burn zone. I watched a guy the other day. He showed that whatever brand he had of thermometer, that's magnetic thermometer that's stuck on there, he didn't think it was very accurate. I've never tested this for accuracy, but what I try to do is run it between these two lines here, and from there I'll adjust either my air intake. Very rarely will I adjust the exhaust based on temperature, and then also the speed of my box fan there, you know. So when I really need heat in the house, you know, I'm getting this as hot as possible, and I'm running the box fan on setting number 3 to move around as much air as possible. So let me show you what it looks like outside. Hey, I was just thinking about something, and that would be subscriptions. And right now it's a good time for you to take a moment and hit that subscribe button. And we need subscriptions to keep the channel going and keep you bringing you this content. So hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. That really helps YouTube suggest this to other people that maybe you don't know. And for the people you do know, share the video with them. Show them what's going on, you know, on our channel, but also, you know, if there's a particular skill or whatnot you'd like to share with them. Another thing, you know, I'd like for you guys to comment on the channel as far as, you know, how you run your wood burner. Maybe you have a better idea of doing something. You know, this dialogue starts with this, it helps the whole group out, all the other viewers, it helps me out, helps everything grow. So let me know what you do when you start your wood stove and how things look. And you know, the fact that this is an 8-year-old wood stove, I'm going to prove to you it still burns clean. And then you know, maybe you got a 2020 you'd like to share your thoughts with me, you know, an EPA compliant wood stove. So if you can see behind me, we've got an inferno going in there as far as the heat on the wood stove. Here we go. Quick panoramic of the driftless here. You know, you've seen the drone footage, you've seen it before. Got a little snow last night, so it looks a little different today. So just thought I'd do a quick panoramic. This is always beautiful terrain here. And the point of the video, there's the exhaust pipe on the wood stove. You see, all you see is heat coming out of there. you don't see any smoke. So yeah, you could do this in the middle of the city. For some of you people that, well, let me see if I can get in a little closer here, if you can see the heat. For some of you people that have old fireplaces in your house or whatnot, I would definitely go talk to a fireplace. Consider buying a fireplace insert. My brother did that. He had a fireplace. He's tried to burn fires in there, and you know, with fireplace, most of your heat goes up the chimney. He put in an insert, and his wife yells at him now. My brother doesn't like cold weather, and he gets the house up to 80 degrees with that insert, and it's, once again, it's an EPA stove, but not a 2020 stove, and he gets the same results in the middle of the city. You know, so you're not going to offend your neighbors if you do it right. You know, go get yourself a wood insert for your fireplace. Run the flue lining, because that's really a smart thing to do. Is just it's a stainless steel pipe. You know, a lot of companies do installations. They'll do it for you, and bam, here you are heating with wood, which is cheaper and more green than using the fossil fuels that you're hooked up to now. Also, it's a renewable energy, and I can't say that enough, you know, because some people, you know, think, oh, you're cutting down trees. Well, no, there's enough storm damaged trees right now. There's tons of ash out there from the emerald ash borer killing all of our trees. There's a fair amount of oak from oak wilt, so there's plenty of trees, just a normal cycle of dying, and that tree gives off the same exact carbon dioxide. Actually, it's less. People don't always count it as less, but it gives off less carbon dioxide burning it in your fireplace than it does rotting in the woods. And it also, you know, trees sequester carbon dioxide as they're growing, and they'll put that into the roots, into the ground, and a lot of it'll keep there. So hit the like and subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next video.